Our second most upvoted question: can you address the underlying elephant in the room, sexual revolution / cheap sex, that is driving the wholesale shirking of adult responsibilities?
Yes. Yeah. Well, and a lot of that is that we've made sex our God, right? And so everything bows down to the altar of sex, whether it's your sexual feelings or your sexual identity or your sexual desires, or right? And that's what the sexual revolution did. It said sex outside of the boundaries of marriage, right? And that's true liberation and that's true freedom. Sure, somebody's going to pay for it though, and it's the kids, right? So at them before us, we say, adults, we're not going to get up in your business, whatever. But once there's a baby involved, everybody conforms their rights to the baby. Okay? So you can identify as you want to identify, have whatever consensual relationships that you want to have. We're not going to get involved in that. Once there's a baby, you need to commit yourself to that baby, and whenever possible, to the baby's other parent, so that the baby can have all of you, both of you, every day of their life. So it actually is kind of a libertarian approach, where we're not out there feeling like we need to police everybody's behavior. We are saying once a child's involved, our expectations, both personally and policy-wise, is that adults will bend to the rights of the child instead of forcing the child to fit into what the adults want.
Another question that was echoed in a couple different ways: how would you argue or discuss with a couple who wants to abort their child and be born with a disorder that will make their life harder, such as Down syndrome?
Grow up. I mean, honestly, every single thing that we've talked about involves adults doing something hard. If you want to come out, if you're in a marriage and feel like you have same-sex attraction and want to come out and say, I am now going to come out and live my life according to a world that conforms to my romantic inclination, it's hard for you to say no to that. It's hard to say, you know what, I have these feelings, but I'm going to remain in the marriage because my children deserve to have my love and the love of their mother or other parent. We haven't even talked a whole lot about infertility, probably because you guys are young, but this is one of the biggest sticking points for a lot of people today. We're getting very older, we've got more infertility issues. Women are waiting too long to have children, and so they are more reliant on reproductive technologies to get pregnant. Infertility for a woman especially, a friend of mine who struggled with infertility, she's like, it's pretty much like your worst breakup with your first love once a month. Like, it's terrible. Every month. I cry for a week. Every month it's another heartache. It's a crushing load. And a lot of people feel like, well, this justifies me using an egg donor or a sperm donor because I'm so sad and upset and it's so hard on me. But we don't make kids sacrifice, regardless of how hard it is on adults. So and it's actually the same question related to women in a crisis pregnancy. It is going to change your life. It is going to be hard. You are going to have to conform. And that's actually what makes you the adult in the situation. Right? The adult is the one that's supposed to sacrifice, not the child. The child should not have to give up their right to life because you're in a tough spot. Children with disabilities certainly should not be discriminated against because they have put you in an uncomfortable position. Let me just say, raising children is risky. Having babies is risky. Whether you do it by adoption or naturally. Parenting is like one of the most high-risk things you're ever going to do. And so there's really no way out of that. So just go into it with the mentality of, dang, this is going to be risky. And if you end up with a child who's whole and alive at age 18, count yourself lucky, right? I mean, there's just so many things, right? So many risks involved in this, but we don't minimize the risk by eliminating the person.
Maybe following up on some of your answer there, there's a question: the social and legal regime for marriage and child rearing has degenerated. Will it be fixed by telling parents to man up against these powerful negative incentives?
No. It will be fixed, I think, when we tell the stories of kids. Right, so up until this point, I think it's been really easy for people who are like, the kids are fine, the kids are fine, everything's okay, the kids are fine. I just read an article, so, you know, now the big push is polygamy, right, or polyamory. Like, that's the new frontier. They, you know, the gay marriage thing happened, so they're on to polygamy. And the New York Times is doing this a couple times a month, right? The glories of open marriage or non-monogamy or whatever. And, you know, they talk about how, man, this is so great. Like, I can't believe I was trapped in that sex only once a month or once a week marriage, and now I get it all the time, and I got this guy coming in, and I can be with my husband, I can be with this guy, and it's so great. And then, like, 3 paragraphs down, like, and the kids love it. I'm like, right? This is the same thing they've been saying since No Fault Divorce. Oh, the kids love it. 2 Christmases, 2 houses. It's awesome, right? They did it with same-sex marriage. Kids don't need mothers and fathers, they just need to be safe and loved. They love it, right? Now they're doing it with polygamy. They love it. The only way to really get it through is to have to actually read what kids go through. I dare you to go on our website and read about the real lives of these kids and how it has impacted them. And the way that they were pushed and pulled a lot of the time. The way that they felt like they had to stuff the greatest heartaches that they had and do the dance their parents wanted them to dance, right? All of these glossy pictures of 2 women with a baby and how wonderful it's going to be. I mean, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you've got the good photographer in the nice grassy field. I'm sure it looks nice. But when you actually read the stories of kids, not a lot of lesbians make it to age 18 still together. I mean, lesbians break up more than any other couple that, you know, that's out there. I mean, my mom and her partner, they could hold a clinic on commitment and stability, but statistically, that's not the pattern that lesbians typically follow. Like, the likelihood that those kids are going to experience fragmentation by the time they're 18 is extremely high. But if we're just hearing it from the adult's perspective, nothing ever will change. We actually have to understand, like, hear the stories of the kids and how difficult it was, follow up, you know, slam them with the data after that. And then we have to build an army of adults who are willing to do the hard thing in their own life and fight for good policy for kids. Because kids don't blog, they don't hire lawyers, they don't lobby, they don't write amicus briefs. You know, the adults are going to have to do that for them.
There was an individual who wanted to share their story. I didn't know if that was something.
If you're talking about, like, right now, I would love it. But I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But you can go to my website. At the very bottom, you can plug in your name and you can do a comment. You can say, I want to share my story. It's going to go to my friend Katy. She'll write you back. And she can give you some prompts. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out, I don't even know where to begin. You know, I've got like 20 pages in here. We'll just, you know, there's 4 simple prompts that we use to kind of help people narrow down what to share. And they're really different. Some people share 4 paragraphs, some people share 4 pages. But if you want to share your story, I would be honored to post it. You can choose to do it under your first name, your first and last name. I wouldn't actually recommend that at your age. I'm serious. Like, it's just, you know. Or you can choose a pseudonym, and we can do it that way. So, great question.